So I'm curious, are you guys happy that Mattel decided to go ahead with Margaret Motorray here this year, and in doing so, cancel the Citroën Clown from Cars on the Road Showtime episode? Now granted, the clown only had literally a half a second of screen time compared to Margaret, who appears a lot during the Legend episode and actually probably has the most speaking lines of any of the supporting characters throughout Cars on the Road. I think she has the most out of the 3 Cryptid busters. It just looks awesome, right? Super unique, even though she is a model that we've seen before on diecast, being this like Land Range Rover or whatever. She's got some cool doodads. I love her camo paint finish. And yeah, can't wait to get into her, open her up. But my thing is, I could totally see Margaret being released many times down the road. Whereas, who knows if we'll ever end up getting the Citroën Clown. But if you guys have no idea what we're talking about, check out my video where I talk about how Margaret replaced the Citroën Clown in the description below, and card session pop up in the top right hand corner. All right. Very excited about Margaret here. Again, thanks to Astro Smokey for helping me obtain all the cars from the newest case, being case K, which I also just reviewed recently, link in the description and card suggestion. And I will be going through all 5 of the new releases in the case. But Margaret was a no-brainer to do first. I mean, she just looks absolutely incredible and was one of the more highly anticipated characters to be released going into 2024. And yeah, she was quite the surprise, at least for me, because I had the whole documentation and I didn't know that she was actually going to get released until the poster came out, whereas I knew about everyone else long ago. But on the back here, you can see Van Campbell, Jessica Carville, Jason Roedke, Chris Freidman, Deputy McQueen with Slime, and Justin Roadritter, all of whom have been released technically because they were in cases prior to case K here with Margaret. Van, Justin, they were in case J. I just reviewed Van. I did review Justin in the 2-pack he was in with Ken and Jinoki, but the single is actually a variant, so I will be reviewing that soon. Of course, Deputy McQueen with Slime was quite old, case D, Chris Freidman, case G, Jason and Jessica, case H. I did review those also about a month ago now or so. But yeah, very excited about Margaret here. And yeah, I mean, they teased us with the mini racer last year, so it's nice to finally have the full-size version that really could be a deluxe. I mean, she has quite a few tall features, hence why her artwork is cut off here by the hook, which isn't ideal, but is what it is. Let's open her up. Here is Margaret out of the package. She looks great, as to be expected. There she is, multiple times throughout the episode, like I said. I mean, all of them appear a lot, all 3 Cryptid busters, they pretty much all appear together. But there's this really cool shot where Margaret kind of leans in and she's in frame with McQueen and Mater. And I don't think that can be said about any of the other Cryptid busters, where one of them is in scene with McQueen and Mater. And I know it might sound stupid, it might sound nerdy, but I feel like they were trying to make it known that Margaret's kind of the leader of their clan. She seems like she has like the most, I don't know, this might sound also stereotypical. She has like her marbles on straight. Like she's the most sane of the bunch. I mean, we all know that they're a little unhinged, searching for Bigfoot, who was just another car. I mean, they were basically hunting another human if we were to put this into like real people terms. So yeah, I mean, they're all a little delirious, but Margaret seems like she was the most sane of the bunch. And so yeah, she appears a lot. Some cool footage there. And yeah, let's take a look here at what she has to offer. I do feel like someone commented the other day that they were not a fan of her eyes, and I can kind of see where they're coming from, because it's weird. It's like she's grimace. I don't know, it's not a grimace. It's more of like you're holding in a puke almost. The way her mouth is set up there, very strange. So yeah, not the best expression in the world. I'm surprised they kind of went this direction. It's not a smile. It's not a frown. Like, why didn't they just do the mini racer expression? Yeah, that would have been better. Interesting. But yeah, still fine. I love the matte finish. Like, it's a really raw, industrial finish on her paint, which looks great. You do have like the Land Rover logo there in the center on the grill, but it's very hard to make out any of the text on that logo, whereas I feel like in previous iterations you could kind of, well, I guess not on this particular one, but you could see on like Jason, oh my god, where did I pull that up? Kevin Riven, you actually see the Range Rover text there on the edge of his hood. But this is clearly a trademark casting. It's not a fictional fantasy model, if you put it in the Hot Wheels terms. On the side here, you could see her little badge, the coat of arms for the Wayne County Cryptid Busters. And I have come... So, you know, this is kind of like the Jackson Storm is his number 2 or 20 debate. What does CBC stand for? I now believe that it's just CB. Because as I've put more years into my experience vault of life, I have noticed there exists to be acronyms or visualizations like this where it's really only 2 letters, but if it's symmetrical, they put on again. Like, all right, I explained that so bad. But like, let's say, excuse me, if something was like DOD, driver off the deck, as some people say in golf, driver off the deck, yeah. No, that's not a good one. Nope, my bad. No, oh man, I'm explaining this so bad. All right, let's just do, wow, what's a good example? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know of a good example, to be honest, but point being, you could read it from both ways. Cryptid Busters, Cryptid Busters. CB, CB. It's not CBC. That's my point. So all this time we're trying to decipher what CBC means when it really is just CB. So that is the conclusion I've come to with this after years and years of trying to decipher what it means and decodify it. But there you have it. Wayne County Cryptid Busters, not CBC. Yeah, I remember all of us being like, Cryptid Buster Clan, Cryptid Buster County. No, definitely none of those. All right, glad that we're past that. That was a little bit of a word jumble. Oh no! Is that a license plate that I have seen before? Oh my goodness, no way did they actually go all the way back to Maurice Wilkes from Cars 2 and snatched his license plate on over. GRENGD2. Oh, Mattel, no, you didn't. You didn't. What's even funnier is that this license plate was almost used thrice. On Sergeant High Gear here, it's GRENGD1. It's like, are all cars this model just using the same license plate template or what? But yeah, no, I'm okay with this. But this, no, that's bad. Come on, Mattel. You can't have 2 so disparate characters sharing the same license plate. Literally, Maurice Wilkes was released in 2013 or 14. And here we are in 2024. Oh, no. Mattel, no. I mean, it looks nice, the license plate. I like the green. It's pretty clear. It's a little weathered looking along with the rest of her. Looks really good. Like, the tail lights look great. They're kind of their own pieces. Reminds me of, like, the tail lights on some of the showgirls or, like, Derek Decal's Dobbs because they're, like, their own metal bulbs. I love that. So everything else is great back here. You do have the plastic bumper, which is its own piece, and then you have the base, which is a separate piece even from the bumper. T20A, so produced during the 20th week of 2024 at the A factory in Thailand. And on the side here, you don't have a whole lot going on. Just the same old, same old. And what's very interesting about Margaret here is that her plastic parts are very soft and flimsy. Like, usually these antennas, and maybe it's because they aren't really accustomed to doing antennas in the main line. Like, you know, they did do a couple on Sheriff, but that was the Precision series. Like, they are very, like, they're almost like rubbery. So it's interesting how much you could bend these and twist them about. Whereas the antenna here on Cryptid Buster McQueen and on Cryptid Buster Mater for that matter are a lot firmer. Like, that's a much firmer plastic than these are. And maybe it's because there's 3 of them. They had to kind of tone it back a little bit. But yeah, at least it wouldn't hurt as bad if you stepped on this. Whereas if you stepped on McQueen's antenna, yeah, you might have a hole in your foot. But yeah, also, the little light bar here, that is a much harder plastic. I will give them that. And it looks really good. I love how each light's kind of differently sized. You have this one, which is a little smaller than that one, which is smaller than the big one. And then you have the circular one on the side. And then you have 2 gas tanks on either side of the back here. That is symmetrical there. There really isn't any difference between that. I love kind of the metal bar holder that they're in. It's not raised a lot off of the gas cans themselves, but you can feel like a ledge right there and on the sides, which is pretty cool. Really nice touch there. And on the top, you could see that this luggage or extra resource chest is tied down with these black cords, which is also raised off of either the roof, which is plastic. You could see how it's perforated there. There's a crack in between the main body and the roof. So the roof is a separate plastic piece. And I understand that because it's got to be punctured for all these holes, all the stuff going into her roof. So yeah, she's got a lot going on. Reminds me of, Wild Miles Axelrod, for example, who had some of the fuel tanks as well. And I think he had a light bar as well. You know what? We might as well grab him and compare him to Margaret here in a moment. But a couple other cars I did want to compare her to. Obviously, Maurice Wilkes, who shares the same model and was the first of this model to be released, although he technically was not supposed to be the first. You know why? Do you know why Maurice was not supposed to be the first of this more retro Land Rover model? Well, because Sergeant Highgear was supposed to come out in 2012, but he was canceled. Fortunately, though, he was uncanceled in 2018, and here he is today. He was a Super Chase, though. I never found him in the store, unfortunately. I feel like I found like half of the Super Chases that Mattel did in a store. I really should calculate that, do a little tabulation. Didn't find any from 2012. 2013, I did find Hiroki and Takeshi. 2014, I don't think I found any in 2014. Nope, no Karateka, no Trike, no Luigi Guido, no Francesco. 2015, I did find Mater with duct tape. And I found Bud in 2016 and Jay Lowly. 2017, never found Cruz Ramirez as Francis Belline, nor Morgan Martins, although I have a lot of him. And I definitely never found what was the next Super Chase? Who was it? Oh, Biz Torkson? Jeez, Biz Torkson. I feel like I'm missing someone, though. But I didn't find a Biz Torkson. And who else? Transforming Lightning McQueen, did not find him. So maybe a little less than half. But anyways, yeah, these guys are technically the same model, but have a lot of different gadgets and gizmos. Also, the taillights on the back. So Sergeant Highgear is structured a little differently. Maurice and Margaret are a lot closer cousins just because their taillights are on the back and everything's structured pretty much the exact same. But yeah, let's take a look here at the Mini Racer with Margaret. Now, one thing the Mini Racer actually kind of has on top of the 155 is that her tires are all muddied up, and the base, as you can see here, they're nicely detailed. It's not just a solid brown like they kind of did with the Salt Flats tires. But yeah, she's a lot cleaner in the 155 scale diecast. And now it just creates an inconsistency because they went for the muddy tire look with Griswold. So you almost had to go muddy tire on Margaret, which they did not do. Don't know why, but they did it on the Mini Racer, which is just strange to me. But yeah, I would say that they did a good job with the Mini Racer. Didn't include, as many details. Didn't have the antennas, obviously. But it was a nice little taste, a little appetizer to the big thing in the 155 scale version that they ended up doing. I wonder if she was like a last minute decision. They were like, let's see how the Mini Racer is received, and then we'll go from there. But in the meantime, Citroen Clown, you're up. And then got optioned back to AAA. But yeah, even though they don't share the same kind of tires, Griswold and Margaret look fantastic together. Just so random, incongruous characters and cars coming together to form the Cryptid Busters I mean, you have the station wagon, you have a British Land Rover, and then a big RV. Like, you can't get much more different than that. And throwing Mater and McQueen in here, you have a really nice looking bunch, and it just really begs the question, will Mattel ever do Clutch Homboldt, the RV, who probably would be the best release from Cars on the Road, maybe all together? Maybe I'm capping, maybe I'm tweaking, but I feel like he would be super cool. So let me get Wild Miles Extra. I do want to show him, but then we'll call it a day. So I actually misspoke. Wild Miles Extra doesn't have the gas tanks. He had already lost all of his extra reserve cans, as evidenced by the leaves in their spots. So it was really Outback Miles Extra that I wanted to compare to Margaret here. But this is a canceled Super Chase from 2016 that never saw the light of day. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough to have one here. And yeah, you got the gas cans on the side. Miles was really prepared. He had 7 cans, and he still somehow ended up looking like this. So that just goes to show, kids, be careful out there. But yeah, Margaret only has 4. Miles has 7. I mean, look at all the stuff he has up top. But this was really one of the best die casts. Such an underrated cancel release as well. I mean, I love how detailed the roof here is. They even painted the wheels on the roof rack and in the back, which, as we know with Sarge, they did not do for just his regular die cast. He even has a little antenna back here as well, which is a very bendable plastic, similar to the antennas on Margaret's, although not quite as bendy as these guys up here. So there you guys go. That is the full comparison. Let me know in the comment section below, who is your favorite Cryptid Buster? Is it Margaret? Is it Griswold? Is it Clutch Homboldt? Could be hard to say right now until we get Clutch Homboldt, who actually I thought was originally going to be released as a mini, but then it ended up being Margaret. I'll have to look back into it because I totally thought it was going to be Clutch Homboldt. Maybe I just misinterpreted the documentation, but I revealed it on my channel that it was Clutch, and then Margaret popped up, and it's like, what the hell? And then I thought it was going to be the Citroen Clown, and then Margaret popped up. I was like, what the hell? Margaret is very bossy. All right, guys, thanks as always for watching. Bye now.